Sometimes a man just needs a place that feels like home. For Josh Brolin, that place is a quiet California ranch, a stretch of land where life slows down and Hollywood seems far away. He didn't choose it for the views or the style. He chose it for the peace, the breathing room, and the chance to live without cameras or scripts. Out here, the days move in a simple, steady rhythm that brings him back to himself. And to understand why this land matters so much, we have to trace his life back to where it first took shape. Josh Brolin's story didn't begin on a film set. It began on a quiet ranch in Templeton, California, where he learned early what work felt like. Long days, simple routines, and a kind of silence that stays with you. That upbringing shaped him far more than the Hollywood reputation attached to his father's name. He grew up grounded, cautious, and aware that life could turn in any direction. When his parents divorced at 16, the steady life he knew suddenly fell apart. He drifted toward a local surfer group known more for trouble than for waves. Later, he would talk about those years with a clear honesty. Friends slipping into addiction, choices he's grateful he walked away from, and the feeling that life can tilt fast when you're young. Acting wasn't a dream then. He was just trying to stay balanced. Everything changed when he took a small improv class out of curiosity. The noise in his life quieted, and he finally felt focused. That simple step led to The Goonies in 1985, the role that made him known fast. But early attention didn't mean an easy path. After Thrashin' was torn apart by critics, he stepped back and rebuilt himself on stage in Rochester, learning slowly under actor Anthony Zerbe, steady work that taught him real discipline. Television slowly brought him back. From 1989 to 1992, he played Wild Bill Hickok in The Young Riders, a steady role that reminded him he still had a place in the industry. More TV work followed, keeping him close to the craft. Things shifted when he took on darker, heavier characters. The depth finally showed. No Country for Old Men put him back in serious conversation. W revealed another side, but Milk was the true turning point. The role earned him an Oscar nomination and proved he was shaping a stronger, more grounded career. The next years opened into bigger worlds. He led Jonah Hex, stepped into Men in Black 3, and kept moving through roles that showed range. Then came the role that changed everything: Thanos. In the Marvel Universe, his quiet intensity and grounded presence fit perfectly. Around the same time, he added another franchise to his name as Cable in Deadpool 2, shifting between tones without losing himself. Behind the scenes, he explored storytelling from the other side, producing The People Speak, and later writing and directing his own short film, X. It marked another step in his growth, not just performing stories, but learning how to build them. Looking back, Josh's career wasn't a straight climb. It was shaped by early chaos, long stretches of rebuilding, and the calm confidence he found later. Today, he stands as one of Hollywood's most steady and quietly powerful actors, a man who grew into his craft at his own rhythm. And far from all the noise of that long journey, there's one place that keeps him steady: his ranch in California, where his true rhythm lives. Ranch in California. Hidden among the trees and open fields of Montecito, Josh Brolin's ranch sits quietly on its 2.8 acres, far from any hint of Hollywood noise. The home, built in 1939, spreads low against the land. Simple lines, wide roof, and a sense of steadiness that comes from age rather than design tricks. In early 2024, Brolin bought it back for $7.1 million, returning to a place that has been in his family for generations. Nothing about it is flashy. It's a working ranch, shaped for real life. Space, calm, and the kind of quiet that settles in as soon as you step onto the property. The home was built in 1939, and it still carries the quiet charm of an old East Coast ranch. Long lines, wide windows, and rooms that open easily to the outdoors. But the years have gently shaped it. Little by little, The house was updated to fit the way a modern family actually lives. The systems were refreshed, the living spaces opened up, and a few new comforts were added along the way, all without disturbing the character that's been here from the beginning. It still feels like a classic ranch, just one that moves smoother, breathes easier, and works better than it did decades ago. From the main living room, the view opens wide toward the lawn and the river beyond. The windows frame everything: the clean line of the pasture fences, the sweep of grass leading down to the water, the light that changes slowly with the afternoon. And stepping outside feels even better. A 4,300 square foot deck wraps around the back of the home, giving Brolin and his family a place to drink coffee in the mornings or sit quietly when the day winds down. The air is still, the river moves gently, and the whole property breathes at its own pace. Off to one side sits a guest house, about 1,900 square feet, built in the same simple, grounded style as the main home. Friends, family, or visiting crew members can stay here without disturbing the rhythm of the main house. Nearby, a 1,600 square foot garage and workshop holds up to 5 cars and includes an automatic lift. It's practical, useful, and perfectly sized for someone who splits his time between work and quiet weekend projects. But the land is what gives the ranch its real character. Nearly 3 acres stretch out around the house, opening into quiet fields, soft lawns, and the kind of wide space that invites people and animals to move freely. The horse areas have been part of the property for as long as anyone remembers, shaping the daily rhythm here far more than any modern upgrade. There are places to ride, places to walk, and corners of the property where old trees and aviaries sit quietly, holding pieces of the ranch's past. It's open, steady land, the kind that shows why this place has stayed important to Brolin's family for so many years. Security here stays simple but firm. Dual electric gates, keypad protected, opening only for those meant to enter. Most days, the gates stay still, and the ranch goes on at its own slow rhythm. Dogs wandering the yard, sunlight hitting the deck, the hum of the pump station that feeds the lawns. Life on this ranch moves at its own calm pace, giving Josh the steady rhythm he needs beneath all the noise of his career. But his world doesn't end at these open fields. When he steps away from the quiet mornings and wide spaces here, another home waits for him in Simi Valley. A place with its own warmth, its own routines, and the quieter family moments that balance his life just as deeply. Beautiful mansion in Simi Valley. There's a certain calm that settles over Josh Brolin's Simi Valley home, the kind that doesn't announce itself but finds you the moment you turn onto the road leading up to it. The place isn't grand or dramatic. Its charm comes from how naturally it blends into the landscape. When Brolin bought it for about $1.1 million, he wanted a place that felt real, a home that could hold the quieter parts of his life. The entry opens to a living room that feels lived in the best way. Sunlight spills across the hardwood, and the vaulted ceilings give the space a calm, open breath. There's nothing loud or decorated for show, just comfortable furniture, a few pieces that matter to him, and an easy stillness that lets him settle. This is where he sits with a cup of coffee before the day starts, where lines get rehearsed in a low voice, where conversations feel unhurried. The room has the kind of softness that reminds you a home doesn't need to be big to feel full. A few steps away, the kitchen stretches into the heart of the house. It's bright, clean, and built for routine more than display. The counters have that gentle wear that comes from real cooking, from early breakfasts and late dinners shared after long filming days. The open layout lets the morning air move through easily. This space feels like the home's anchor, a place for Brolin to pause, to talk, to cook something simple and decompress from whatever the day held. From the kitchen, the flow leads naturally into the dining area, where the windows frame the rolling hills outside. The landscape sits quietly in the background, a reminder of why he chose this place. Simi Valley doesn't demand anything from him. It gives him space to breathe, to think, to disappear from Hollywood without going far. Meals here aren't rushed. They happen in that unspoken rhythm that comes when a home feels safe enough to slow down. Down the hall, the bedrooms carry the same peaceful tone. The primary suite is airy but understated, with soft light in the mornings and room enough for Brolin to unwind without distraction. The attached bath, quietly modern, adds to that sense of reset. These are the parts of the home that help him recover. Quiet nights, quiet mornings, small rituals that bring him back to center. Outside, the backyard is where the house truly breathes. The pool sits under open sky, surrounded by enough space to feel private no matter how the day moves. On afternoons when the light hits right, the water reflects a stillness that matches the valley around it. This is where Brolin relaxes after long weeks, where he swims, reads, or just watches the hills settle into evening. There's room for gatherings, room for quiet, room for life to happen in a way that feels real. Every part of this Simi Valley home strengthens the quiet rhythm he's created for himself. Slow mornings, open views, and a sense of calm that steadies him. It's the place he comes back to after long stretches of work, where life settles into something real. With his home setting the tone of his everyday life, we now head to the part that moves him through it, his collection and the stories behind them. Car collection. First is the Chevrolet Suburban, the SUV that carries Josh through most of his working days in Los Angeles. With a current market value of about $75,000, the Suburban fits his pace perfectly. Wide cabins, steady handling, and the kind of quiet ride that lets him reset between shoots. It gets him through early call times, long studio days, and the constant movement that comes with acting. Nothing about it is meant to impress. It simply does its job, and that's exactly why he keeps it. Next is the Ram 1500 Rebel, valued at roughly $62,000. He takes it out on dirt roads to check on land, or on afternoons when he wants silence and open sky. Inside, the rugged seats and sturdy layout match the way he likes to unwind. Simple, grounded, and a little dusty. The Rebel reflects the part of Josh that prefers real spaces over shiny ones, the version of him that still feels most at home outdoors. Then comes the Chevrolet Silverado 1500, now worth around $50,000. His is a white V8-powered truck, quiet, sturdy, and built for real use. The cabin has cloth seats and a straightforward dashboard, the kind that feels familiar the moment he sits down. He takes it on grocery runs, short drives into town, or early coffee trips before the day begins. The Silverado carries the simple parts of his routine, a steady reminder that life doesn't always have to move with Hollywood's pressure. Together, these vehicles show the life Josh values most: practical days, open roads, and a pace that stays honest. Every truck reflects a different part of him, from work to rest to the everyday in-between. And from this honest picture, we step into the financial side that keeps his lifestyle steady. Income and net worth. Money didn't come easy for Josh Brolin, even though his name has been around Hollywood for decades. Today, he's worth about $25 million, but the road to that number was slow, uneven, and built from years of work that didn't always pay what people imagined. His earnings after the Goonies were simple and never flashy. Through the 90s and early 2000s, the money came in steadily, but never at a life-changing level. The real shock arrived in 2007. Even though he appeared in both American Gangster and No Country for Old Men, he later admitted he was completely broke. After clearing debts, he kept only about $30,000 from No Country. The film lifted his name, but it didn't lift his finances. But what saved him was a check he never saw coming, a $600,000 royalty payment from American Gangster. It arrived right when he needed it and gave him the breathing room to choose better roles. From there, his income began to rise steadily. W, Milk, and later True Grit brought stronger contracts and put his name back on the map. The biggest jump came with the era of comic book films. As Thanos in the Marvel Universe, appearing in Guardians of the Galaxy, Infinity War, and Endgame, he stepped into a global franchise that paid at a different level. Then came Cable in Deadpool 2, another major deal that added to his earnings. By the mid-2000s, Josh had finally reached the kind of financial stability he had fought for since the 80s. Real estate also became a clear part of his wealth story. In early 2020, he sold his longtime Brentwood compound for $6.55 million, closing one chapter of his life in Los Angeles. Not long after, he and Catherine Boyd bought a $3.55 million estate on 1.5 acres near Atlanta. Later that year, they added another property in Simi Valley for $1.1 million. And in March 2024, Josh made one of his biggest moves yet, buying a $7.1 million home on 2.8 acres in Montecito. Quiet, open land much closer to the pace he prefers. Josh's net worth grew from years of rebuilding, learning through hard seasons, and choosing the long road over shortcuts. His journey wasn't shaped by luck, but by steady steps, better decisions, and a quiet persistence that finally gave him a stable life. With a more stable life, another part of Josh's story comes into view: the way he helps others without expecting anything in return. Philanthropy. Josh Brolin has never treated generosity as something to show off. Most of his giving happens quietly, with no cameras and no need for big announcements. A large part of that comes through the Brolin Family Foundation, a small but meaningful nonprofit that holds about $1.5 million in assets. Over the years, Josh has contributed more than $500,000 to keep its community programs running, from health initiatives to education support. When the California wildfires surged in 2025, he stepped in without hesitation. Josh pledged to match up to $500,000 for relief efforts, helping rescue teams and families who lost their homes. He never spoke about it publicly. The money simply went where it was needed. His long-standing respect for firefighters has also turned into action. Through charity auctions and fundraising events, he has donated roughly $600,000 to firefighter associations across the state, a way of honoring the people who walk toward danger when everyone else is running away. Josh also supports cancer research and patient care centers in California, contributing an estimated $750,000. The cause is personal to him, shaped by years of watching people he loves face difficult treatments and long recoveries. For children, he gives in a quieter, more personal way, funding reading, art, and drama programs in rural schools. These programs mirror the things that once helped him find stability during his own chaotic youth. His support, around $750,000, keeps these creative spaces alive. And whenever storms or natural disasters strike across the U.S., he contributes to emergency relief funds. Over time, these donations have totaled close to $200,000, offered without any expectation of recognition. Josh's philanthropy reflects who he is at heart: humble, steady, and sincere. He gives without expecting anything in return, choosing real impact over recognition. And in that quiet way, he's helped people more deeply than any headline could ever show. From here, the story shifts away from his impact on others and into the place where he finds his own balance. Personal life. Away from the noise of Hollywood, Josh Brolin lives a life that feels calm, steady, and rooted in the things that matter most. These days, he spends his time between his homes in California, surrounded by the people who bring out the gentler parts of him: his wife, his kids, and the small circle he calls family. Most mornings start simply. He trains, lifts weights, or spends time in the gym, the kind of routine that keeps his body strong and his mind quiet. Fitness isn't a performance for him, it's a way of staying grounded as the years move forward. On warmer days, he heads to the beach, letting the ocean wash over him the way it did when he was young, long before the fame and pressure arrived. Family moments are the moments he protects the most. You'll find him walking with his daughter on a quiet sidewalk, or laughing with relatives at amusement parks, blending into the crowd the way he prefers. There's no staged perfection, just real time together, warm and simple, the way he's always valued it. When the weather is good, his family gathers for small outings, shared meals, or slow afternoons that stretch just long enough to feel like a break from everything else. And then there are the motorcycle days, the ones where he gets to be fully himself. Helmet on, arms stretched over the bars, he rides through California like a man who knows the road better than the spotlight. The wind, the speed, the quiet rhythm of the engine. It's freedom in its purest form, the kind that reminds him of who he is beneath every role he's ever played. In the end, Josh's life now is built on the things that stay steady: family close, health cared for, and small moments that feel more honest than any spotlight. It's a simple rhythm, but it's the one that truly fits him. We truly appreciate you being here. If you want more stories told in this calm, honest style, feel free to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what comes next.